What's going on, guys? Seto Mirza here, fresh out of the lab, again with another Harpy combo video. So the December 15th ban list has come, and it looks like not as many things got hit as we actually thought. So I was expecting LP to kind of get hit along with the Linkross here. So that was why the video that I came out with at the beginning of the month was featuring combos with no LP, no Linkross. But it looks like LP has survived, again, another list. So been spending a lot of time seeing exactly how far we could take Harpies with the current cards that we have playable. So there's a bunch of different routes that I've found, or different, side engines that kind of give Harpies the boost to stay competitive and fast in today's meta. The best engines I've found being either the Tri-Brigades or just the Blackwing / Raid Raptor engine that lets you go into Wise Strix. So I'm going to kind of demo a bunch of all the different combo paths along with their pros and cons, different end boards, what kind of interruptions you can play through, and kind of where I think the deck is going. So if you enjoy this kind of long-term or, long-winded discussion content where just a bunch of different combos are analyzed, I've really taken a page out of Yugi-tubers books like Sir Eminon and Frozen Card Gaming for kind of inspiration to making these kinds of videos. And if you like this kind of content, please make sure to leave a like, leave a comment. I really appreciate it. Reply to every single comment on the channel. If you really like the content that I've been posting, make sure to leave a subscribe. Stay tuned for, all of the new different decks that I've been messing around with. I mean, most content I've been posting is Harpy content, but I've also been messing around with a bunch of different decks. Most recently, I've been looking into what we can do with Drytrons as well. So without further ado, let's just get right into the combo. Starting off with combo number 1, we got the 1-card Harpy Perfumer combo. So starting off, we're going to summon the Perfumer, activate effect to search for Elegant Egotist. Activate Egotist to bring out the Harpy Lady Vanilla and then go into Romulus. Romulus effect's going to trigger to search for the Dragunity Divine Lance. And then Divine Lance effect to equip Phalanx. And Phalanx going to get equipped, and we're going to go into Halqifibrax. Yes, no more Linkross shenanigans here, so we got to use the Romulus and the Phalanx to go straight into the Halq now. And we bring out our Winged Beast Tuner. This could be the Gusto Tuner or the Blackwing Tuner, depending on which variant you're playing. And then we just simply use these two to go into Samorg, and then end phase Samorg effect to bring out the barrier statue, and that's the combo. So if you're familiar with my channel, you've known that in the past we've been building around how far we can go with one Harpy Perfumer. And this was mainly thanks to Linkross. Like, Linkross was definitely the degenerate combo enabler. Like, before, with one Harpy Perfumer, we could end on Samorg, Barrier Statue, an IP Avermax, and a Herald Negate to back it all up and play around Forbidden Droplet. So that was just kind of, excessive, and we can kind of see the power level differences between combo decks in general from the last format going into this format now that Linkross is banned. So we're no longer building around how far we can just go off of one Perfumer alone. As you can see, this isn't enough. Like, this Samorg Barrier Statue play is what I consider to be like the bare minimum end board, where you could, if you play through Disruption, as long as you can end on the Samorg link and bring out the Barrier Statue, then you're doing pretty good. Because what this does is it gives you the Barrier Statue, which blocks all special summons except for Wind, along with the targeting protection of the Samorg. So pretty much your opponent's going to have to out the Barrier Statue, usually with their normal summon battling into it and then going into the main phase 2. Which means, first of all, you're not dying, which is great, always. And then second of all, means if they don't also out the Samorg bird, then in the end phase, you're just going to use the effect again to bring out another Harpy, and then you get your follow-up that way. So this is what I consider to be the minimum combo, and kind of everything is built around being able to resolve some sort of Samorg plus Barrier Statue through some kind of interruptions. Alright, so let's move on. Alright, so let's get into the next combo. So if we're not going to be centering around Harpy Perfumer, I guess that means that we got to build around Channeler instead. So the loss of Linkross pretty much means one extra body is going to be needed to be accounted for from somewhere. So we're going to use Channeler to be that source of extra body. So this combo is Channeler plus any Harpy card. Doesn't have to be Duster, just any Harpy card. So we're going to use Duster as kind of like the representation for any Harpy card. So we're going to go ahead and pitch the Storm, bring out Perfumer, Perfumer effect to grab the Egotist, all standard stuff from here. Gonna bring out the Lady and go into the Romulus. So So Romulus effect is going to grab us the Lance, activate Lance, equip Phalanx, and then Phalanx bring itself out. Then we're going to link off the Romulus and the Harpy Lady to go into Simorgh. So if you guys are familiar with the channel, again, you should know what it means when you get a level 4 lower dragon underneath those Simorgh arrows. And that's right, we're going to go straight into the guard dragon plays. LP survives another list, and we are going to capitalize on it, bringing out his buddy the DMZ dragon. DMZ is going to re-equip the Phalanx back from grave, and then Phalanx effect is going to bring itself back out again. Then we're going to go into Pisty. Pisty bring back the DMZ. And then we're going to use the 2 guard dragons to go into our second copy of Romulus. This could be any dragon link too, but I like playing 2 Romulus in case the first one gets stopped. You gotta follow up to go back into for the next one. And then link off these 2 dragons for IP, and then IP plus Romulus equals IP Masquerena. IP Abramax, sorry. And then in the end phase, we're going to use Simorgh's effect to bring out the barrier statue of Stormwinds. And that is it. We pass play and we end on the Simorgh bird, the barrier statue, and battle protection with the IP Abramax. So the barrier statue can't be targeted, of course, and it cannot be attacked because of Abramax, and Abramax cannot be targeted or destroyed by his own effect. So what you're left is this trio of all untargetable monsters along with the battle protection. So it's a pretty interesting lock if you've never seen this. This is probably my favorite board, just in terms of the minimal investment and maximum amount of payoff. Very little decks have answers to this board in the main deck, and if they are playing it, it's usually like an out of archetype out that they pretty much have to hard draw, like a Forbidden Droplet. And in which case, we can pretty much hedge against that with Featherstorm. Because, you know, if they're playing Droplet and we're playing 3 Droplet and we're playing 3 Featherstorm, then we kind of both have the same odds to draw them, kind of out it. So this is probably my favorite end board. And, you know, as we go forward from here, this pretty much same combo of like getting Simorgh with the dragon underneath is going to be standard. And we're going to start kind of breezing through it. So, all right. So for this combo, we're going to need Harpy Channeler, a discard, and Swallow's Nest. So we're going to go ahead with Normaling Channeler and discarding the Featherstorm to bring out Perfumer. Perfumer effect to add the Egotist. Egotist bring out Lady. And then we're going to synchro here into Cyber Slash Harpy Lady. So this is the new synchro that we got from the Dragons of Legend Complete series, and her effect pretty much says if a spell or trap card or effect is activated, except during the damage step, quick effect, you can target 1 monster your opponent controls or 1 Harpy monster you control and return it to the hand. So pretty much got a nice bounce that we can use to interact on the opponent's turn. So we're going to go ahead and set the Swallow's Nest and pass play here. And on the opponent's turn, after they, you know, normal summon, or, you know, put up a threat, then we can go ahead and Swallow's Nest to tribute our Harpy Lady 1 for cost, and chain our Cyber Slash Harpy Lady's effect to bounce that normal summon back to hand, and then bring out the barrier statue from deck. So now the opponent is left with no normal summon, we got the barrier statue out, and we have Cyber Slash Harpy Lady. And this combo is really nice because it's only 4 summons, so it plays around Nibiru. And if you get a read that your opponent's got Nib or, you know, other hand traps, then this combo can be nice to play around because you can just commit into the Channeler effect and then chain Swallow's Nest if they have any hand trap there and be able to combo through it no problem as well. So I really like this combo because it sets you up for being able to play through Disruption and also play around Nibiru. Alright, for this combo we're actually going to be starting off with Glyph the Phantom Bird. So we'll go ahead and discard Glyph to search for the Golden Castle of Stromberg, and then we'll activate Stromberg effect to bring out another copy of Glyph from the deck. If you're going second here, you can activate Glyph's effect to target 1 spell or trap, or 1 card in your opponent's spell or trap zone and destroy it, so don't forget about that. Then we'll go ahead and activate Swallow's Nest here to tribute off Glyph because he's a level 4 Winged Beast, and bring out Harpy Perfumer from deck. Then we'll go ahead and do the standard 1 card Perfumer Simorgh combo from here. So bring out the Harpy Lady, go into Romulus, add the Lance, bring out Phalanx, go into Fiber, bring out the Gusto Tuner in this situation, and then we'll pass into Simorgh into the barrier statue. So the reason we go for this play is because Golden Castle of Stromberg's effect, when your opponent monster declares an attack, you can destroy the attacking monster, and if you do, inflict damage to your opponent equal to half the monster of that monster's attack. So this is a good way to protect the barrier statue from battle, and yeah, it's pretty much it. Just combos really well with the Swallow's Nest and gives you the free spell and trap pop as well. So if you end up getting hit by Droplet or Dark Ruler, then your opponent still has to out the Golden Castle before they can actually clear any of your monsters by battle. Alright, now we're getting into the meat and potatoes. So this is what I consider to be the full combo and what I would say is a pure Harpy build. So this combo, it takes a lot, obviously. We got a Resolve Channeler with an additional extender pretty much. And then you got to hard open the Hysteric Sign to be able to pop it is the goal. So let's get started. So we'll use the Channeler effect, and then we're going to start off by, or follow up by using Egotist before using the Channeler effect actually. So we bring out the Harpy Lady Vanilla, and then we're going to link that off straight into the Imduck. So what Imduck does is just a dragon that you can use to link into using a normal monster except a token. And what happens is when a dragon is on field, Channeler's level will become 7. So what that lets us do is use Channeler effect now to discard the Duster and use Perfumer effect. So Perfumer effects has got a stipulation where it says if you control a level 5 or higher Harpy monster when you activated this effect, you can add a second card that lists Harpy Lady Sisters. So we'll go ahead and use Perfumer's double search to search for the Hunting Ground and Elegant Egotist. So now we're going to set our Hysteric Sign and we're going to activate Hunting Ground. So what Hunting Ground does is every time you summon out a Harpy monster, a mandatory effect to target one spell on the trap on the field and destroy it. So we'll summon out our Vanilla Harpy Lady and then use Hunting Ground to pop our own Hysteric Sign. So now we can use Imduck and the Vanilla to go into our Romulus, and then here we're going to do the standard Romulus, Simorgh, Avramax combo. Go into LP, bring out DMZ, Phalanx, bring it out, Pisty, bring back DMZ, go into Romulus, go into IP, go into Avramax. Now in the end phase, we trigger our Hysteric Sign Search 3 before going into the Simorgh to bring out the Barrier Statue. So what this gets us is we leave a Harpy on field so that we can use Featherstorm during the opponent's turn to stun them out of monster effects. And then we've got our standard, you know, Avramax protecting the statue from battle, Simorgh protecting it from targeting, and we also have the additional Hunting Ground, which gives the 200 plus attack boost onto all the Winged Beast monsters, so don't forget that as well. And then next turn, we have a really strong follow-up by being able to use Harpy or Channeler discarding Harpist. So this is probably what I would consider to be the best combo you can pull off in a quote-unquote pure Harpy build. The only non-Harpy cards really are just the Romulus pieces and the DMZ Dragon. So it's really only 3 non-Harpy cards for this entire combo, not including the extra deck, of course. So yeah, this is definitely it doesn't happen very often, but when it does, this is probably the most satisfying combo to pull off, because whenever you can search 3 in the end phase, your opponent just feels super demoralized. So all right, let's move on. Alright, so far by this channel's standards, all of these combos have been pretty tame compared to things that we've shown in the past. So now let's get into the meat and potatoes, and let's start seeing really how high we can take the ceiling of these Harpy combos. So this is the first set of combos that we're going to be using the Ystrix engine. So this is the first alternative engine that we're kind of introducing here, besides, I guess, Golden Castle, if you would consider that. So let's get started. We're going to use normal summon Channeler, and then use the effect to discard the Duster, bring out Perfumer effect to add Egotist. All standard stuff so far, Egotist to bring out the Harpy Lady. So pretty much 3 Winged Beasts is the golden ticket in this format. So what we can do from here is pretty much whatever we want. So now we're going to go ahead and overlay into Raid Raptor Force Strix. So Force Strix is going to go ahead and detach and search us the Raid Raptor Singing Lanius. And then we'll summon Singing Lanius out of hand and link off both Dark Winged Beasts to go into Raid Raptor Ystrix. So now Ystrix effect is going to activate, and it's going to summon out Zephyros from deck, and its effects are negated on field and cannot be used as link material. So we're going to go ahead and bypass that restriction by overlaying it into a second Force Strix effect, detaching Zephyros to search Blackwing, Chris the Crack of Dawn. You can also search Bora the Spear here. And then triggering Ystrix's effect, since a Raid Raptor Xyz monster effect was used, we can add the Rank Up Magic Soul Save Force and set it to our field. Then Soul Shave Force effect to pay half of our life, target the Force Strix Engrave, summon it out, and then rank up 2 ranks into Cyber Dragon Infinity. So now our combo is protected from hand traps, and we can move on by linking off the 2 Winged Beasts into Romulus. now Romulus is going to get us our Lance. Equip the Lance, equip Phalanx from deck, bring out Phalanx. And now we're going to use Zephyros effect from grave, targeting the Lance to bounce it back from hand, summon out the Zephyros, and take 400 points of life. And now since we control a Blackwing monster, we can summon out the Kriss the Crack of Dawn and use that plus the Romulus to go off into the Simorgh. So now we've got our typical LP under Simorgh plays. We'll go through that. But bringing out the Phalanx here to synchro off into, with the Zephyros, into Dragunity Knight Vadriana. So Vadriana needs a Dragon Tuner and a non-tuner Winged Beast monster, which Zephyros satisfies. And when it's synchro summoned, you can target a level 3 or lower Dragunity Engrave and equip it to its card. So we bring back Phalanx again with that, use Phalanx to bring itself again, and then use that with the Vadriana to go into Borreload Savage Dragon for another 2 negations. So now we can link off the DMZ into Pisty. Pisty bring DMZ back. And since DMZ is also not hard once per turn, once we go into Romulus, we can use DMZ to equip Phalanx again for the 4th time. Phalanx effect, bring it out, go into the IP, and then we'll go into the Avramax. So from here, we do the end phase Simorgh effect and bring out the Barrier Statue, and yeah, so we're ending up with the Barrier Statue, IP Avramax, the Cyber Dragon Infinity, and the Borreload Savage Dragon. So the typical Channeler combo can get 2 additional negates by going through the Wise Strix line of play. So pretty cool stuff, and let's move on to the next. And next we're going to be showing off the infamous Infinite Negates combo. So it's going to start off just like how the other Wise Strix combos do. We're going to use Channeler effect, we're going to bring out the Harpy Lady, go into Force Strix, detach for the Singing Lanius, go into the Wise Strix, bring out Zephyros, get the Kriss the Crack of Dawn, trigger the Soul Shave Force, bring out the Infinity, and then we're going to go into Romulus. Activate the Lance, bring out Phalanx, Zephyros bring itself out, and then go into Simorgh, and go into LP. And then we're going to bring out the DMZ Dragon and use that off for Pisty. Pisty effect to bring the DMZ Dragon back, DMZ effect to equip from grave, and then we're going to go into our second Romulus. So now we'll bring the Phalanx to bring itself out, and here's where the combo kind of diverges from the others. We're going to use Phalanx and the Romulus to go into our Union Carrier. So next we'll use the DMZ and the Zephyros to go into IP, and then Carrier effect targeting Simorgh to equip the Mist Valley Thunderbird onto the Simorgh. So now we can end phase Simorgh effect to bring out the Apex Avian and pass play. And during our opponent's main phase, we're able to use IP Masquerena effect to link off the Union Carrier and itself into our IP Avramax. So the end result is the Infinite Negates lock with battle protection for the Thunderbird. So when Thunderbird comes out, they won't be able to just beat over it and take care of the lock. And we also have another backup negate where if our opponent tries to chain something like a Cosmic Cyclone onto our Thunderbird after we try to use the first Apex negate, then we can use Infinity to back up the Apex and get that Apex to resolve properly. So this is really, I mean, like the standard Infinite Negates board where you just have the Simorgh plus the Union Carrier with no real other protection or negations around it is very fragile. And although it looks like it's Infinite Negates on paper, really, like if the opponent knows what to do, they can just bait the first negate and then walk over the Thunderbird by battle and then pretty much out your board with only 1 negate left. So this board kind of helps really lock it in and secure that win. It's really only going to lose to something like Dark Ruler or a Forbidden Droplet, but they're going to have to discard, I mean, probably 3 cards to really negate everything here. So, all right. This next combo is where we start to deviate from the standard Protect the Barrier Statue or Put Up Infinite Negates types combos. So let's get right into this. So we're going to go ahead and use Channeler effect, all standard plays from here. So this board is going to aim to put up Artifact Scythe by using Artifact Dagda effect along with the Tornado Dragon so that we can use Tornado effect to pop the Scythe on the opponent's turn during their standby phase and lock them out of the extra deck before they enter the main phase to kind of play around Dark Ruler. So we go into LP here, bring out the DMZ Dragon. DMZ brings out Pisty effect to bring it back. DMZ equip, and then go into our second Romulus. So now we'll bring the Phalanx out, and we will go with Phalanx and the Romulus into our Artifact Dagda. So now we got our 2 level 4s on board, which will overlay for our copy of Tornado Dragon. And then we can go to the end phase and activate Simorg's effect, which then will trigger Dagda effect to chain and set our artifact Scythe from deck. So now Simorg effect will bring out the Apex Avian for our second negate, and we will go ahead and pass play. During our opponent's turn, we'll use Tornado Dragon's effect during the standby or the draw phase and pop our Scythe, and then Scythe will bring itself back out from grave and lock the opponent out of the extra deck. So what this does is effectively plays around Dark Ruler no more, and even if your opponent has Dark Ruler, they're still extra deck locked, so if they can negate all of your monsters, it's not really going to do anything if they can't progress their own plays of their own. So if Dark Ruler no more really comes into the format and starts, like, you know, making the other combos not very viable, then we can always pivot to this and lock them out during the standby phase and force them to have that droplet. Alright, let's move on to the next one. So this next combo is definitely one of the coolest. So I don't know if it's the most practical combo, especially when True King of All Calamities is in the format and people are playing around this type of effect very well right now, but it's definitely the flashiest and has the most style points. So let's get right into it. This is going to be the Harpy King Calamity combo. So we'll start off with the typical Harpy Channeler discard, bring out the Lady, go into our Force Strix for the Lanius, the Wise Strix to the Zephyros, trigger the second Force Strix to bring out the Chris, bring out the Infinity by paying half the life, go into Romulus. Romulus grabs the Divine Lance, equip Phalanx from deck, and then Zephyros bounce, Chris the Crack of Dawn, and then we'll go into LP, bring out the DMZ Dragon, go into our Phalanx, and then we'll use Phalanx to synchro off with the Zephyros here for our Vadriana, and then Vadriana to re-equip the Phalanx from grave, Phalanx effect bring itself back out, and we're going to go into our Borreload Savage. Savage equip, get our 2 negates, and then we're going to use DMZ Dragon to go into Pisty. Pisty effect's going to bring back DMZ, and DMZ is going to re-equip the Phalanx from grave, and then we'll go Pisty LP, or all 3, sorry, into our Triple Burst Dragon. So we re-equipped the Phalanx to the Borreload Savage here using DMZ's effect, because it needs to equip to a dragon. So we link off all 3 dragons into Triple Burst for this play, and then we bring out our Phalanx. And the reason why we have to do the Triple Burst here instead of the Romulus is because we need monster zones for this combo. We're going to fill up all our zones if we don't. So now we can link off these 2 dragons in the tuner into Crystron Halqifibrax, and then Halq effect is going to bring out our second copy of Phalanx from deck. Yes, we play 2. Could also play Plague Spreader here, but it doesn't really get too much benefit. So it's better to just play the second Phalanx and reduce the chance of breaking. So we bring out the Phalanx, and then end phase we'll use the Simorg Bird effect to bring out the Apex Avian. So right now it looks like we've got 3 negates up on board, but we also have this very ominous looking Halq, level 2 tuner, and level 8 Dark Dragon synchro. So you can all guess where this play is going on the opponent's turn during their main phase of their battle phase. So pretty much after the first effect they do, you can kind of negate it with the Borreload Savage. And then on resolution specifically, you want to use Halq's effect to banish for cost to synchro summon out the Formula Synchron. And you have to do it on resolution, otherwise this Formula Synchron is going to miss the timing. And then you can use Formula Synchron's effect when it's synchro summoned to draw 1. And then on resolution of that, then you use the Formula Synchron to tag out. And you have to do it on resolution here, because if you don't, then the King Calamity will hit the field and miss timing, because this is also a when effect. But once this guy hits the field, it's pretty much game over for your opponent. They're going to not be able to activate any cards or effects, and they can't activate anything in response to this guy. And if he destroys anything by battle, he's going to burn them. And we get the Simorg follow-up, and we still have these other 2 negates live. So it's a really, really strong board to play through, but it definitely requires a decent amount of setup. So now we're going to take a step back from the Wise Strix combos, and while they are really high ceiling and you can do pretty much whatever you want once you resolve that Wise Strix, they are pretty prone to disruption, and you have to play a decent amount of engine requirements, so there's some trade-offs associated with it for sure. But the other side engine that I've been looking at and actually really liking has been the Tri-Brigades. So we're going to start off with some basic Tri-Brigade combos, starting off with this 1-card Fractal combo, which gets us Simorg. So we're going to go ahead and use Fractal effect to discard itself to send a copy of Tri-Brigade Nerval to the graveyard. And then Nerval's effect when it's sent to the graveyard is going to add us a copy of Tri-Brigade Kairos. So now we're just going to go ahead and normal summon the Kerass and activate his effect. And the Tri-Brigades all have got that same effect on field where they can banish Beast, Beast Warrior, or Wing Beast monsters from grave to special summon out a Link monster with the same rating as the number banished. And so we banished 2 materials to summon out our Harpy Conductor from the extra deck for free. So there's a Wing Beast Link 2 that we can use to go ahead and link off straight into the Samorg, and then Samorg effect's going to get us out the barrier statue. So if we open a hand of just Fractal with nothing else, then we can pretty much go into our standard Samorg barrier statue play. But as you'll see in the next combos, we can do a lot more with this engine than just this basic play. So let's move on into those. So for this combo, we're going to be extending off of our Tri-Brigade Fractal play, and to do that, we're going to be using a card called Gusto Griffin. So what Gusto Griffin does is if he's sent from the hand to the graveyard, he can special summon a Gusto monster from deck, and this is an if effect, unlike all the other Gustos, which happen to miss their timing. So this one can actually bring out a copy of itself when it's sent from hand to grave, which is pretty cool. It's one of the few ways to pay the cost for Tri-Brigade Kerass without having to go neg in Harpies, which is really nice. So this combo also doesn't need the normal summon at all either. So we're going to go ahead and start off with discarding the Tri-Brigade Fractal to send the Nerval. Nerval effect is going to search us our Kerass. And then we're going to go ahead and use Kerass's effect to discard the Gusto Griffin for cost to special summon out the Kerass. And then Griffin effect is going to summon out another Griffin from the deck. Then we're going to go ahead and use Kerass effect here to banish 3 from grave to summon our Samorg directly from the extra deck. And now from here we can overlay these 2 to go into our Armored Kappa. Yeah, this is a strange rank 2 Xyz. I was kind of reading through the whole pool of rank 2 Xyz to see what we could do with these 2 specifically, because what the Tri-Brigades do is they lock you out from using any monsters except Beast, Beast Warrior, and Wing Beast monsters as link material for the rest of the turn. So we can overlay into whatever we want. So this Armored Kappa, what it does is once per turn, during either player's battle step, when an attack is involved with any of your monsters, you can discard 1 card, and for the rest of the turn, monsters you control cannot be destroyed by battle, and you take no battle damage. So you can pretty much see where this is going. We'll use the Samorg effect to bring out our barrier statue, and we'll pass play on that. So with this 2-card combo, without even using our normal summon, we're able to put out the barrier statue with battle protection and an additional protection, which also means that we don't take any battle damage for the whole turn. So we can pretty much guarantee that we're going to survive if this Armored Kappa makes it into the battle step without getting negated. So nice 2-card combo with no normal summon here, using Gusto Griffin with the Tri-Brigade Fractal. So one more thing about this board that we could do is instead of making this Armored Kappa, if we wanted, we could use these 2 because they're both Beast and Wing Beast. We could actually link these 2 off for a Predaplant Verte Anaconda and go into a Dragoon as well, so that we would end on either a barrier statue or an Apex Avian with Dragoon. So it would essentially be 2 negates without the normal summon there as well, or we can do this Protect the Castle with the barrier statue, how most of the other combos set it up. So a little bit of variation that we can go in. So we got another Gusto Griffin combo here, this time with 1-for-1. So 1-for-1 pairs really nice with the Tri-Brigades because Nerval is the level 1, and we can also play the level 1 Gusto Tuner, Gusto Eagle I think it's called, as a target for this as well. So we'll go ahead and use 1-for-1 to pitch the Griffin and bring out the Tri-Brigade Nerval, and then that'll trigger Griffin's effect to summon out another copy of Griffin, and then we can link both of these 2 Wing Beasts off into Romulus. So simultaneous effects go on chain, so we can do Chainlink 1 Romulus, Chainlink 2 Nerval, to kind of make sure our Romulus goes through. And then we're going to add our Tri-Brigade Kerass and our Divine Lance. So now we're going to go ahead and do the basic Romulus into Samorg play. So we get into Fiber, bring out the Gusto, and then go into Samorg here. And then we're going to use our normal summon on Tri-Brigade Kerass. So from here we can use Kerass effect to banish 2 Wing Beasts from grave and bring out Ancient Warrior's Oath Double Dragon Lords. And from there we can pass on the barrier statue, and that's the play. So what this Double Dragon Lords does is he's got a quick effect. You can send 1 card from your hand or field to the graveyard, then target 1 face-up card your opponent controls for cost, and then on resolution it returns it to the hand. So he's a quick effect bounce that you can use to bounce whatever monster that your opponent is summoning to try and out the barrier statue usually. and you can send things to graveyard as cost, such as Hysteric Sign, or like a Harpy Harpist, or maybe even another Gusto Griffin that you have in hand. So the cost actually ends up being a benefit, you know, in this deck. And if you have absolutely nothing else to use as cost, you can always just send off the Kairos to be the cost for that effect. But the reason why we like to leave him on board is because you can use him again next turn as a follow-up to just banish and summon out another one from that. So next we're going to check out what we can do with the Tri-Brigade combos if we introduce the standard Channeler Avramax play back into it. So we're going to go ahead and start off with the Channeler, discarding the Duster, bring out Perfumer, the standard plays to go into the Romulus with the Phalanx underneath so that we can go into the Guard Dragon plays. And we're just going to hold the Fractal and the Griffin in our hands in case we get hit by any hand traps, just so that we have a way to continue extending, which is one of the really nice things about just the Tri-Brigade engine in general. So we'll use the Pisty to bring back here, go into Romulus, go into IP. Oh, sorry, before we go into the IP here, we're actually going to use the Fractal as soon as we clear the Guard Dragon lock, because we're going to continue to use this Phalanx on board, because it is a tuner, so we got to take advantage of that here. And most of the combos haven't been taking advantage of the double DMZ, but this one will, just to get an extra negate on the board. So we'll use Fractal to dump Nerval, and then Nerval effect is going to add us the Tri-Brigade Kairos. And then we'll use the Kairos effect to discard Griffin to bring itself out, and then Griffin effect to summon another Griffin from deck. And then from here, we'll synchro off the Griffin with the Dragunity Phalanx to go into Herald of Arclight. So this is going to give us a negate on board, Omni Negate, along with the Macro Cosmos, so it kind of helps play around Forbidden Droplet, sending monsters from hand. So now we'll equip the Phalanx with DMZ Dragon second effect, and then use IP and Romulus to go into our IP Avramax. So now we can use Kairos' effect to banish our 2 Harpies from grave and bring out the Ancient Warrior's Oath double Dragon Lords for our bounce. And then end phase we'll use Simorgh effect to bring out the Barrier Statue. So the end result is the typical trio with the protected statue. We also have the bounce, and we have negate with the macro that helps play around Forbidden Droplet. And then, you know, double Dragon Lords can send the Kairos for cost so that we're not getting rid of anything on our board. So yeah, this is pretty much the full combo when it comes to Harpy Tri-Brigade. This is probably the max board that I would go for in this build. The ceiling is pretty much as high as the Y-Strix combos get, but the benefit here is playing a lot less engine requirements, so I really like this board. Alright, so now for the final section, we're going to move on to playing through hand traps and disruption in general. So we're going to start off with kind of the standard way that pure Harpies are able to play through hand traps and disruption. So we've got Channeler, Swallow's Nest, a discard target, and Featherstorm, and our opponent has opened a great hand of Imperm, Nibiru, and Gamma. So let's see how we can navigate through this. So starting off by normal summoning Channeler, we're going to attempt to activate effect by discarding the Duster for cost. And here our opponent is going to chain Imperm. And the way we can play around that, since Imperm targets, is we can chain Swallow's Nest to tribute off the Channeler for cost, so that the Imperm is going to resolve without effect. So Swallow's Nest is going to go ahead and summon out our copy of Perfumer from deck. And then the Channeler effect will bring out our copy of Lady One or Harpist or any other Harpy that you want from deck. So Imperm resolves, Swallow's Nest resolves, so a new chain, we're going to have Perfumer effect, and that's going to get hit by Gamma. And then we can go ahead and just chain Featherstorm. So what Featherstorm does is, if you control a Harpy monster, you can activate it from your hand, and you can chain to negate all activated monster effects from your opponent for the rest of the turn. So this will negate the Gamma, and it'll cause Perfumer to resolve, and it'll cause the Nibiru to become dead in hand. So now we got our 3-wing beasts on board, and we're able to full combo here and do whatever we want. So yeah, this is pretty much the standard way to play through hand traps, just the Swallow's Nest and Featherstorm. They're both unsearchable, but it's kind of like 6 Called by the Graves almost in this deck, where Featherstorm acts as like almost like an Azathoth on your own turn to be able to force your combo to go through, which is really, really nice. So let's move on. Alright, for this next combo, I'm going to be showing how we can use Tri-Brigade Kairos to play through a lot of disruption, especially Nibiru. So the way that Chaos works is you can discard any Beast, Beast Warrior, or Winged Beast to summon himself from hand, and then use his Tri-Brigade effect to banish from grave to summon out a Link monster. So the idea behind this play that we're going to be going through here is kind of using our Perfumer as bait if we have a hard read that the opponent has drawn Nibiru. So we're going to start off with the standard 1-card Perfumer into Samorg combo. So we'll go into the Lady, get out Romulus, get the Lance. Lance goes up into Phalanx, bring out Fiber, get out the Gusto, and then go into Samorg. So if we have the read that our opponent has Nibiru here, then we can try to attempt to go to the end phase with just the Samorg and hold the Chaos in hand. And the opponent will be forced to drop the Nibiru here, otherwise they're going to get hit by the barrier statue. So the opponent goes ahead and uses Nibiru, and we get the token. So now we're still in the main phase, because we attempted to leave the main phase, but we got hit by Nib, so we're still in the main phase. So now we can use Chaos Effect to discard the Harpy Lady, and then use Chaos Effect again to banish all 3 out, and go into our second copy of Samorg. Yes, we can play 2 Samorg, and go into it twice if we get hit by Nib, and kind of use this Chaos as bait. So this is a really good way to play around the Nibiru. Gets us 2 bodies on board as well. You could... no, actually, since this Nibiru token is a rock, I don't think we would be able to link it off into something because we need the extra monster zone open into here. I was kind of thinking if we could make this into a Link Spider or something, we could go into an Anaconda. But since we're locked into the Chaos's special summon restriction from the extra deck, I think we're just going to have to leave these 2 on board. But yeah, this is a pretty sufficient way to play through Nibiru, just kind of using the hard read and holding the Chaos. Game 1, I would probably drop the Chaos and use it to attempt to go for the double Dragon Lords, the Ancient Warriors Link 2. But if you get a read that your opponent has Nib, or if they nibbed you like Game 1 or something like that, then this is a lot safer. Alright, for this combo, we're going to be going for Channeler, and we've got Quick Launch as an extender that we're going to keep in hand. So Quick Launch really fits nicely in this deck because it's a level 4 extender, and it can get you a dragon that you can use to put under Samorg and go for the Guard Dragon plays. So let's assume that our opponent has a Nibiru, and let's see how we can navigate through this. So we're going to start off with the standard Channeler, bringing out the Perfumer. Get out the Lady 1, go into Force Strix, Stinging Lanius, and go into Wise Strix, and then overlay for the second Force Strix. So now most players who know how the Wise Strix combo goes will hold the Nib for the second Force Strix to come out, and then this is the perfect time to Nib right here for anybody who's interested, because if you let this Force Strix go through, then you're pretty much giving your opponent a free search, and then if you like chain Nib after that, they get a free search for nothing. But if this Wise Strix stays on the board after this resolves, then they're going to get the rank up spell for free, which absolutely cannot let happen, because then they'll just bring out Infinity. So the opponent's going to go ahead and drop Nib here, and tributing it off the whole board for a token. So now we're going to use Quick Launch as our extender to go into our Rocket Tracer, and then we can just link off the token plus Tracer into our Crystron Halqifibrax. Fibrax effect, bring out our Tuner. Winged Beast Tuner goes into the Samorg Bird, and then we can end on the Barrier Statue. So this is a way to continue to bring out the Samorg even through Nibiru. I know they already have a monster on board that's threatening the statue and the Samorg, which is kind of annoying, but the good thing is you can pretty much guarantee yourself making it to turn 3, and at least putting something up on the board if the opponent has Nibiru and you only have that 1 extender but no Featherstorm to just hard negate the Nibiru. So this is another way that we can play around the Rocky Boy. And for our final trick, we're going to be taking a look into the near future at Dragunity Legatus. This guy's going to be coming out with what was supposed to be the Dragunity structure deck, but it's now been repurposed into, I think it's called Ghosts from the Past, some new set. It was actually delayed. It should have been out around now or January or something like that, but I'm pretty sure it got pushed back to March. But basically, this guy is like a pseudo Harpy with how good he is, especially in any of the Romulus builds, which are pretty much all the builds that I've been playing. But yeah, let's get into this combo and show how we can play through Imperm using Dragunity Legatus' effect. So we're going to start off with Perfumer and go into the standard 1-card Perfumer Samorg combo. At least that's what we're going to be attempting to doing. We're going to go for Romulus here. And good players will hold their Imperms from, you know, the Harpies, because they know Swallow's Nest is a thing. You don't want to get tagged out and stuff. So if you hold the Imperm for Romulus, you're usually in better shape if you're trying to face this deck. So good player is going to go ahead and drop Imperm on the Romulus here. But now we can go ahead and special summon Dragunity Legatus, since he says if you control a Dragunity monster or Dragon's Ravine, you can special summon him from your hand. So he also has another effect. If you control a Dragunity monster in your spell and trap zone, you can target one spell and trap on the field and destroy it. So if you actually get the Lance and equip the Phalanx, then this guy's got a free spell and trap pop as well, which kind of fits in the theme with Harpies and lets you play through a little bit more. So yeah, we'll just drop Legatus here, and then we can go into the Simorgh. And this lets us play through a hard interrupt on Romulus while, you know, not really needing to play some crazy extenders, kind of like there's no bricks involved. Like with Quick Launch, you don't have to play like the Rocket Tracer and stuff. So really, really like Dragunity Legatus, and looking forward to when he finally makes his release in the TCG. Alright guys, that's been my in-depth Harpy combo video for the December 15th, 2020 ban list. Hope you guys enjoyed all of the different combo paths and different, you know, things that you can do with the Harpy engine. If you made it this far, definitely have to leave a subscribe, like, comment down below. Just let me know what you thought of this video, tips and improvements, and what I can do better in the next video. I would really appreciate it. Yeah, so just kind of leave a kind of like a test deck profile that I've been messing around with, having a lot of fun with. The Harpy Tri-Brigades is probably my recommended build after all of this. The Y-Strix combos are definitely the most fun to pull off and the most entertaining, but it's just really hard to build a deck around them, especially with Harpies, because they have so many like inherent, you know, engine requirements that you don't really want to draw. So maybe I was messing around with like something like a Time Thief, like a rank 4 turbo build that, like, you know, can one card into those combos with like the Time Thief regulator, whatever that dog is. But maybe like Raid Raptors or Blackwings might actually be better, you know, for pulling off those kind of Y-Strix combos. But the reason why I really like using Harpies as the combo engine is pretty much because Featherstorm. Like Featherstorm just says no to your opponent, dropping Nibiru, dropping all the hand traps, so it's just really, really powerful. And so for that reason, I'm pretty much going to be sticking with Harpies as the main combo engine and not try out Blackwings or Raid Raptors and stuff. But with all that being said, Harpy Tri-Brigade is most likely what I'm going to be playing for this upcoming format, and refining this and seeing how far we can take it. Because, you know, the Tri-Brigades, they look really nice. They're pretty underexplored in my opinion, and they've got new support coming in the future. So again, guys, if you like the content, make sure to interact with the video, help the algorithm, and until next time, peace.